Today, we're diving deep into the exciting world of dive watches that'll leave you craving adventure both above and below the surface. But before we plunge into this horological journey, don't forget to hit that like button if you're as fascinated by these underwater timepieces as we are, and subscribe to stay tuned for more thrilling content like this. So, grab your snorkel, tighten that strap, and let's explore some incredible dive watches that'll make you want to take the plunge. To make Jacques Cousteau seem like he's been swimming in shallow waters, you'll require a dive watch. A dive watch is a timepiece that can withstand water and has features to ensure your dive goes smoothly. These features include a clear dial, luminous markers, and a timing bezel. If you're in search of a great dive watch that falls between affordable and luxurious options, you've come to the right place. When it comes to discussing budget-friendly watches, Seiko is a brand that often comes up. The 42mm Seiko 5 Sports SRPD71K1 may not have the highest water resistance, standing at just 100 meters, but it's an incredible deal at around $250 if you shop around. There's no screw-down crown, but unless you plan on diving significantly deeper than the recreational limit, this watch should work just fine. Outside of the water, it also looks quite appealing and comes in numerous color combinations to suit your preferences. If the Seiko 5 doesn't meet your requirements, especially in terms of water resistance, then for just under $800, you can consider the Tissot Seastar 1000. It might not be the most decorative watch, but it's built to be robust like a tank. You can choose between a steel or titanium case, depending on your desire for lightweight wear. This watch offers 200 meters of water resistance, a luminous 120-click sapphire bezel, and is powered by a Swiss caliber SW200 movement. Dial colors vary, and at the moment you have the option of selecting either Bahama yellow or pastel blue, both of which are quite attractive. If you want your dive watch to look great both in and out of the water, consider the Longines Legend Diver. It ranges in price from a few $1,000s to nearly $4,000, depending on the case material. This watch takes inspiration from the compressor case era of dive watch development, offering 300 meters of water resistance. It features two stylish crowns, one of which operates the internal bezel. When you combine these features with the smoky dial variants, you get a dive watch that would make James Bond envious. However, be aware that the 42mm version might feel larger on the wrist due to its lug length. Fortunately, there's also a smaller 36mm version available. If you haven't heard about the Tudor Black Bay 58, here's some exciting news for you. When Rolex increased the price of its popular Submariner, leaving some fans disappointed, they introduced the Tudor Black Bay 58 as an alternative. This watch has a retro design with vintage elements and a smaller 39mm size. It can withstand water depths of up to 200 meters, suitable for most underwater activities. For a more eye-catching look, you can opt for the bright silver version for an additional cost. Tudor is not just copying old Rolex models for profit, they also produce genuine watches used by military divers today. It might be the French military, but they still have real guns and everything. This is the Pelagos FXD, a 42mm titanium dive watch. It's named that way because of its fixed strap bars. The water resistance is not as high as the standard Pelagos, only 200 meters. That's because it's not meant for extreme depths, but for rugged use. So it has a slimmer case for protection and a canvas strap that can't detach, thanks to those fixed bars. For a price of $4,200, you can also imagine yourself as part of the Marine Special Forces. Speaking of James Bond, remember how he used to wear a Rolex Submariner? Well, not anymore because Omega outbid them. But that shouldn't discourage you from considering the 6600 Seamaster Professional. It has a helium escape valve and can handle depths of 300 meters. It's not just good looking, it's highly capable, just like Mr. Bond. Unlike 007 though, this watch is real and you can own one. It also benefits from the coaxial escapement, which I won't explain now due to time constraints, not because I don't know how. When Grand Seiko creates a new watch, it needs to achieve two things. It has to be technically superior to its Rolex counterpart, and it shouldn't resemble a Rolex in appearance. That's why the limited edition SLGA001 draws design inspiration from the Zumwalt-class stealth battleship. It's a large watch, 47 mm wide and 16 mm thick, so calling it stealthy would be quite the exaggeration. However, it boasts a substantial 600 meters of water resistance, which answers the question of why. For a price of $12,000, be prepared to see some scratches on its beautifully polished, high-intensity titanium during your first dive. A list of dive watches wouldn't be complete without a Rolex, so here it is, the Submariner, the brainchild of the founder Hans Wilsdorf. Interestingly, Brunckmann made almost the same watch not long after. The Submariner was well known for something unexpected today: affordability. These days, there's a noticeable shift in the trend, with a cost of just $10,500. This change has also influenced the size of watches to align with changing preferences. Rolex has responded by increasing the size from 40 mm to 41. Speaking of Rolex, it's impossible to discuss dive watches without mentioning them. One particular Rolex watch stands out in this context. The story goes that Rolex and Omega were in competition to create an exceptionally deep diving timepiece. Omega spent years developing a futuristic prototype that amazed everyone who saw it. In contrast, Rolex simply made the Submariner thicker with a heftier crystal and caseback. Let's talk about the modern Sea Dweller, priced at $13,500. It follows a similar principle and is almost identical to its smaller counterpart, except for a larger 43 mm case, red branding on the dial, and an impressive 1,220 meters of water resistance. And speaking of dive watches, here's another Rolex, the Deep Sea, which costs $14,500. This watch boasts a substantial 44 mm case that's as thick as a submarine's hull and can withstand depths of up to 3,900 meters. It's so deep that it could be dangerous to wear it to extreme depths. Nevertheless, the Deep Sea further solidifies Rolex's reputation as a master of deep diving timepieces and represents the pinnacle of dive watches today. Unless, of course, you have a preference for the enormous 50 mm wide, 2.5 cm thick Deep Sea Challenge. And there you have it, folks. Thanks for tuning in and exploring this exciting world of dive watches with us. If you enjoyed this video and found it informative, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up by hitting that like button below. And if you want to stay up to date with the latest in timepieces and all things cool, make sure to subscribe to our channel for more awesome content. Now it's your turn. Share with us in the comments which dive watch from this list caught your eye, or if you have any recommendations of your own. We love hearing from our community. And remember, when you're out there exploring the depths or making a style statement, always stay stylish and stay curious. Until next time, keep those watches ticking and your adventures thrilling. See you in the next video, and as always, stay tuned for more.